Developing tonight in Philadelphia, family and friends desperate for answers. 23-year-old Kada Scott of East Mount Airy now missing for a week tonight. Loved ones coming together to bring her home, sending out prayers and spreading the word about her mysterious and sudden disappearance. Our Jennifer Lee in Chestnut Hill, where Kada worked and was last seen.
A group of Kada Scott's family and friends gathered outside the senior home where she worked, and the last place she was seen now 1 week ago. They spent hours searching for any sign of Kada.
Hey, I'm a parent. I want my kid home.
Family, friends, and even people who didn't know Kada Scott gathered at the terrace at Chestnut Hill Senior Living to put up flyers of her picture and search the surrounding neighborhood. Saturday marking a full week since her disappearance.
Each day we get more and more desperate. We're trying to track down Kada.
Kada was last seen at the senior living facility during the evening of October 4th, where she reported for work. Police say her car was left in the parking lot, but there's no trace of her keys and cell phone or any activity on her social media.
This whole situation has been devastating for our family. We were all shocked to find out that she, has disappeared or pretty much vanished in the thin air.
On Friday, Philly police say evidence brought them to Aubrey Arboretum, where hundreds of recruits thoroughly searched the grounds, but they say nothing notable was found. Police aren't sure if foul play is involved, but say it doesn't seem like Kada went missing on her own.
We don't know exactly what they're doing in terms of leads and information that's been found out, phone records. Anything. We're not really privy to that information, so we don't know what's going on. All we know is that we have to do our part.
The 23-year-old is described as creative.
What do they mean they're not privy to that information? If my daughter went missing, I should be privy to all the information. But let's keep going. Let's keep going.
And ambitious. Her family says she was involved in modeling, beauty pageants, and started a beauty facial spa.
Kada wanted to be a star. Her whole life has been nothing but wanting to be successful, wanting to be an entrepreneur. She always just wanted to be something very successful in life, and she started that at a young age.
We appreciate the community and outsiders and friends like that. Anybody that can help and get Kada back home, appreciate it. Thank you.
You heard the family's plea. If you have any information about where Kada might be, you can call police at 215-686-TIPS. They're also taking donations for a reward fund on GoFundMe. We'll have a link to that on fox29.com. In Chestnut Hill, Jennifer Lee, Fox 29.
Absolutely crazy. Let's get over into the more details about it.
Fox 29 News has learned that 21-year-old Keon King has an active protection from abuse order against him recently from a third young female in effect until 2027. That's in addition to the multiple kidnapping and related charges he's being held on $2.5 million bail on now in the disappearance of Kada Scott and the prior kidnapping case from earlier this year that was dismissed initially by the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office. It was refiled this week after King's arrest in the Kada Scott case.
Karen, call the cops.
Philadelphia police sources tell me this video, posted on social media and shared widely following King's arrest this week, is part of the evidence in the first kidnapping case, dismissed by the DA's office, showing him walk up to the victim's window.
Keon out here.
Law enforcement sources tell me King was also a suspect in a prior rape case involving yet another woman. Adding more to their belief that King has a pattern.
Why is he out? Why was he out in the first place? Ah, man, gee, let's keep going.
Of very bad behavior with women. Sources tell me investigators found Kada's glasses, her iPad case, and her cell phone case, along with her bank card, in the search of this no longer used Philadelphia public school building yesterday. That's 2.5 miles, mostly down Stanton Avenue, from where she worked and was last seen. While King hasn't been as cooperative as detectives would like, sources tell me the young man that she was on a date with the night she was last seen did cooperate. She went on a date here to Topgolf Saturday night, arriving home at 9:45 p.m., just 5 minutes before her mother saw her leave for work. That young man told police how easily approachable Kada is, based on how he met her by just rolling down his car window and was able to easily strike up a conversation with her.
This is day 12 of Kada not being with us. And as you know, each day the desperation grows.
Kada's father on Good Day Philadelphia for the second straight morning, hoping to keep the public on alert for her, brought his two brothers with him, hoping to reach the person who may know King and may know what happened after police say she got into King's car.
There's one person out there that is a good friend of his that, you know, has a heart. And you know, understands the severity of this and speaks up.
Dad Kevin Scott wearing his daughter's name on his hooded sweatshirt over his heart, hoping someone watching with a good heart will hear him.
Let my daughter go. Bring my daughter back home. She has loved ones, family, friends that all care about her. She has a bright head on the shoulders, a great future. You know, people make mistakes. If she's alive and breathing, you know, just get her back home, you know?
We want her home.
At the Criminal Justice Center, Steve Keeley, Fox 29 News.
I hate to say this. But if he isn't cooperating right now, sounds like he's confident they won't find her. At least that's my thinking. He's confident they won't find her, so she might already be gone. I don't hope that. I hope that they can find her alive, but you have to prepare for the worst while thinking of the best. Absolute tragic. But let's get more over into that chilling video of where this most recent video that came out of him looking into one of the victims that he had home.
All right. We told Kada's family we would not let this story go until we have a resolution. So here's some new info. This 21-year-old Keon King,
21.
who they arrested, he turned himself.
Probably ain't never talked to a girl in his life. Unless he was trying to, well, he probably talked to him. He just probably can't get nowhere. Let's keep
And
going.
then they arrested him, has been charged in connection to the disappearance of Kada. He is now being held on a huge bond, $2.5 million.
So Shayna is live with more
So he's
on
gotta
all
get
the
10% of that.
charges and more on the investigation.
Yeah, today marks day 13 in the search for Kada Scott, 23 years old, and you mentioned it, 21-year-old Keon King, now facing a slew of charges, including kidnapping in connection to the disappearance of Kada Scott. Now, we are learning some new details about him, but let me give you a background in terms of where we are and how we got here. Now, Kada Scott was last seen on October 4th at her job at the Terrace at Chestnut Hill Senior Living Facility. This is back on October the 4th, and her family has been searching for her ever since. Now, Philadelphia police found some significant evidence at a former middle school near Arboretum here in Philadelphia, right by Germantown, so about 2.5 miles away from where she was last seen. There, it was where evidence was found, including a bank card with her name on it, and her cell phone case was found in that abandoned lot. Then on Wednesday, a tip led police to locate Keon King's vehicle, which was parked at a condominium complex in East Falls. The car was towed and is now being processed for information and evidence, as police do believe at this point that Scott may have been inside that vehicle. Now, when it comes to the suspect, Keon Scott, 21 years old, as you mentioned, held on $2.5 million bail. He has quite the history when it comes to his rap sheet. We're learning he has a protection from abuse order against him for another woman in a separate case, which is still active until 2027. And we're going to pop up a video that's actually part of that investigation there.
Ransom?
The victim in that case recording him attempting to break into her property there. And then that particular case that we're talking about that you're seeing, apparently that was dismissed by the DA's office, that case. But then since...
If I see him trying to go into, come on now. If I see him trying to go into the house, this is a young lady's apartment. Yeah, he would have got shot. We got to be honest about it. Come on now. Absolute crazy.
Kada Scott disappearing, and since Keon King being connected to that allegedly by investigators, the DA had refiled those charges in that case. And not
Why
only
did they drop it in the
connected
first
to
place?
a prior kidnapping case, but also a stalking case, as well as a rape case as well. So he has quite the rap sheet here, which is why he's held on such a high bail at this point. We heard directly from the family of Kada Scott. We actually heard from the dad just yesterday on Good Day. This is what he had to say.
of Kada not being with us. And as you know, each day the desperation grows.
There's one person out there that is a good friend of his that, you know, has a heart. And you know, understands the severity of this and speaks up.
Let my daughter go. Bring my daughter back home. She has loved ones, family, friends that all care about her. She has a bright head on the shoulders, a great future. You know, people make mistakes. If she's alive and breathing, you know, just get her back home, you know?
We want her home.
Again, that was Kada Scott's dad and her uncles on Good Day just yesterday. Now, we're live right outside of the Top Golf along Roosevelt Boulevard, and this is actually one of the locations that Kada Scott was last seen before she went missing. Now, she was last seen at the job, right? But she actually went on a date that night before returning, and so she went on this date with a separate guy, with an unrelated man, and then when she came home from her date, her mom says she saw her for a few minutes before she headed out to go to her job. So these are the two last locations that Kada Scott was seen, which is why we're live out here, hoping that anyone has any information on that. The family has a GoFundMe account. We have a link to it on our website with their own funds to hopefully motivate someone to come forward with information, but also Philadelphia Police has a tip line as well. Anybody is encouraged to come forward with information. Certainly, they are looking for the safe return of Kada Scott. Guys.
Please, thank you for that brand new information about she was on a date that night, earlier in the evening at Top Golf, where Shayna is.
And then she went
with a different guy, like Shayna said, a different guy. It's not a Keon King.
And then she went to work.
Yeah, that's what I understand. But the police have interviewed him about how they met and how the date went and stuff like that.
Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. I do have some questions. Why was the first kidnapping charge dropped? Why was that dropped? It's, like I said, you got prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. I truly hope that she's still alive. But how he's not cooperating with the police, he probably feels like they're never going to find her. He should have been in jail a long time ago. He should have never been out in the first place. But hopefully they can find her, get some closure. And this man needs to never be out with the public for the rest of his life. Absolutely crazy. Let me know if your thoughts on that situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Absolutely tragic, y'all. Absolutely. All right, everybody. Remember, this is AC Reviews the Word. Remember to like and subscribe.